You know, it's just, divorce is a really thing.
And I just sit there and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm from a divorced family as well. I get it. That sucks.
The truth behind the most devastating revelation in Kelly Clarkson's life came not through lawyers or court documents, but through a conversation that would haunt her forever. When someone you once loved more than life itself shares their deepest regret and final hope with you, the weight of those words can crush even the strongest heart. Kelly Clarkson, the powerhouse vocalist who has survived industry battles, personal struggles, and public heartbreak, found herself facing something she never expected. A moment of raw humanity from the man who had caused her so much pain. What Brandon Blackstock shared with her in those final weeks would change everything she thought she knew about their relationship, their divorce, and the future they could have had together. The heartbreak in his voice, the sincerity of his regret, and the impossible nature of his final wish would leave Kelly questioning everything about love, forgiveness, and second chances. Kelly Clarkson's relationship with Brandon Blackstock began in a world where music industry connections often blur the lines between professional and personal relationships. Brandon, who worked as a talent manager and was the son of Kelly's former manager, Narvel Blackstock, had been part of Kelly's professional circle long before romance entered the picture. Their initial connection was built on shared understanding of the music industry's demands and pressures. The couple first met in 2006, but their romantic relationship didn't develop until years later when they reconnected in 2012. Brandon was previously married to Melissa Ashworth, with whom he had 2 children, Savannah and Seth. This blended family dynamic would become an important aspect of Kelly and Brandon's relationship as they worked to create a unified household. Their courtship was relatively private compared to many celebrity relationships, with Kelly later describing feeling an immediate and profound connection to Brandon that differed from her previous romantic experiences. She often spoke about feeling like she had found her person, someone who understood both her public persona and her private vulnerabilities. The relationship progressed quickly, with the couple becoming engaged in December 2012, after Kelly had been vocal about wanting to find lasting love and start a family. Their engagement was announced during a concert where Kelly shared the news with her audience, demonstrating the joy and excitement she felt about their future together. Questions arise about what early signs of compatibility or potential challenges might have been present during their courtship period that could have influenced their later marital difficulties and ultimate separation. Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock married on October 20th, 2013, at Blackberry Farm in Tennessee in what was described as an intimate ceremony attended by close family and friends. The wedding represented Kelly's dream of finding lasting love after previous relationships that hadn't led to marriage. The early years of their marriage appeared successful from the outside, with Kelly frequently speaking positively about married life and her happiness with Brandon during interviews and public appearances. She often described feeling grateful for finding love and stability after years of focusing primarily on her career. Their marriage coincided with Kelly's continued professional success, including her role as a coach on The Voice, various album releases, and eventually her own daytime talk show. Brandon's background in music management meant he understood the demands of Kelly's career and could provide support that someone outside the industry might not comprehend. The couple welcomed their first child together, daughter River Rose, in June 2014, followed by son Remington Alexander in April 2016. Kelly frequently spoke about how much she loved being a mother and how Brandon was a devoted father to both their children together and his children from his previous marriage. During this period, Kelly often credited Brandon with helping her feel more confident and secure in her personal life, which she said positively affected her professional work and creative output. Their family life appeared stable and happy based on Kelly's public statements and social media presence. However, questions arise about what private challenges or growing tensions might have been developing beneath the surface of their apparently successful marriage and family life. Brandon Blackstock's career as a talent manager put him in a unique position within Kelly's professional world, as he represented various country music artists and had extensive industry connections through his father Narvel's company, Starstruck Management. This professional relationship dynamic would later become complicated during their divorce proceedings. His role in Kelly's career involved both personal and professional elements, as he served as her manager while also being her husband. This dual relationship created potential conflicts of interest and blurred boundaries that can be challenging to navigate in any marriage involving business partnerships. Brandon's management style and business decisions on Kelly's behalf became subjects of scrutiny during their divorce, with questions raised about financial arrangements and whether his management of her career served her best interests or his own. These professional complications added layers of complexity to their personal relationship difficulties. The music industry's demanding schedule and travel requirements affected their family life, as both Kelly's performing commitments and Brandon's management responsibilities required significant time away from home. This pressure is common in entertainment industry marriages, but can strain even strong relationships. His previous experience in the industry and family connections provided Brandon with knowledge and relationships that could benefit Kelly's career, but it also meant that their professional and personal lives were deeply intertwined in ways that would make separation particularly complicated. Legal experts note that marriages involving significant business relationships and shared professional interests often face unique challenges during dissolution, as personal and financial issues become interconnected in complex ways. The beginning of Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock's marital problems coincided with increasing demands on Kelly's career and time, including her expanding role on The Voice and preparation for launching her own talk show. These professional pressures created stress on their family life and relationship dynamics. Kelly later revealed that she began feeling unhappy in the marriage several years before their actual separation, describing a growing sense that they were becoming incompatible and wanting different things from life. These feelings developed gradually rather than resulting from any single incident or revelation. Communication problems between the couple appeared to have been significant factors in their relationship breakdown, with Kelly later describing feeling like they were unable to resolve their differences or find common ground on important issues affecting their marriage and family. The stress of maintaining a public image of marital happiness while privately struggling with relationship problems created additional pressure on both Kelly and Brandon. Celebrity couples often face unique challenges in addressing marital problems while managing public expectations and media scrutiny. Financial pressures and disagreements about money management may have contributed to their relationship problems, particularly given the complex business relationships involved in Brandon's management of Kelly's career and their shared financial interests. The implications could suggest that their marital problems developed over an extended period and involved multiple factors rather than any single cause or dramatic incident that ended their relationship. Kelly Clarkson filed for divorce from Brandon Blackstock in June 2020, citing irreconcilable differences after nearly 7 years of marriage. The timing of the divorce filing came during the COVID-19 pandemic, when many couples were facing additional stress from lockdowns and changed circumstances. The divorce proceedings became complicated due to their shared business interests, property ownership, and custody arrangements for both their children together and Brandon's children from his previous marriage. These complexities are typical in high-asset divorces involving blended families and business partnerships. Custody arrangements for their children, River Rose and Remington, became a central focus of the divorce proceedings, with both parents seeking to protect their children's interests, while working out visitation and care arrangements that would work for their family's unique circumstances. Financial settlements involved not only their personal assets, but also questions about Brandon's role as Kelly's manager and what compensation he was entitled to for his professional services. These business aspects of their divorce created additional legal complexity beyond typical marital asset division. The public nature of Kelly's career meant that aspects of their divorce became subject to media scrutiny and public discussion, adding stress and pressure to an already difficult personal situation for both parties and their children. Legal experts note that divorces involving entertainment industry figures often involve unique complications related to career management, royalty rights, and public image considerations that require specialized legal expertise. The custody battle between Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock involved complex considerations about their children's best interests, including questions about where the children would live and how their time would be divided between their parents. Kelly initially sought primary custody of their children, while Brandon argued for shared custody arrangements that would allow him significant time with River Rose and Remington. These custody discussions also had to consider Brandon's children from his previous marriage and their relationships with Kelly and their half-siblings. The children's education, healthcare, and general welfare became central considerations in determining custody arrangements, with both parents expressing their commitment to prioritizing their children's needs above their own personal preferences. Geographic considerations played a role in custody discussions, as Kelly's career was primarily based in Los Angeles, while Brandon preferred living in Montana. This distance created practical challenges for maintaining close relationships between the children and both parents. Child support calculations in high-income divorces involve complex formulas that consider both parents' earning capacity, the children's lifestyle needs, and various expenses related to their care and education. The emotional impact of divorce on children, particularly when their parents' relationship has been public and their family life has been subject to media attention, requires careful consideration and often professional support to help children cope with the changes. The financial aspects of Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock's divorce involved substantial assets and income streams that required detailed analysis and division. Kelly's successful career had generated significant wealth that needed to be fairly distributed according to California's community property laws. Spousal support considerations in their case involved Brandon's earning capacity as a talent manager versus Kelly's significantly higher income from her various entertainment ventures. These calculations required analysis of both current income and future earning potential. Property division included multiple real estate holdings, including their primary residence and a Montana ranch that Brandon particularly valued. The distribution of these assets required professional appraisals and negotiations about who would retain which properties. Business interests related to Brandon's management of Kelly's career created additional complexity in the financial settlement, as questions arose about his compensation for professional services and what ongoing obligations or benefits he might be entitled to receive. Kelly's various income streams, including recording royalties, television contracts, endorsement deals, and other business ventures, required careful analysis to determine what constituted community property versus separate property owned before the marriage. Investment accounts, retirement savings, and other financial assets accumulated during the marriage needed to be identified and divided according to legal requirements and the couple's prenuptial agreement, if any existed. The Montana ranch that Brandon Blackstock particularly loved became a significant issue during the divorce proceedings, as he hoped to retain the property while Kelly preferred to sell it and divide the proceeds. This property represented more than just financial value, as it had been a place where their family had spent significant time together. Brandon's attachment to the ranch appeared to be both practical and emotional, as he had expressed interest in pursuing ranching and agricultural activities as alternative career paths beyond music management. The rural lifestyle represented a different vision for his future than the entertainment industry career he had been pursuing. The ranch's value and the costs associated with maintaining such a property became factors in the divorce settlement negotiations, as Kelly argued that the ongoing expenses were unreasonable given their changed circumstances. Geographic preferences played a role in their relationship problems and divorce proceedings, as Kelly preferred the professional opportunities and lifestyle available in Los Angeles, while Brandon was drawn to the quieter, more rural environment of Montana. The ranch represented different visions for their family's future and lifestyle choices that they were unable to reconcile during their marriage. These fundamental differences in life goals and preferences contributed to their incompatibility and eventual separation. Questions arise about how property with significant emotional value to one party is handled in divorce proceedings, and whether sentimental attachment is considered alongside financial value in asset division decisions. Kelly Clarkson's career continued to flourish during and after her divorce proceedings, with her talk show, The Kelly Clarkson Show, becoming successful and her role on The Voice continuing to provide steady income and public exposure. This professional stability provided her with financial security during the divorce process. The emotional toll of divorce proceedings affected Kelly's creative work and public appearances, though she generally maintained her professional commitments while dealing with personal challenges. Her openness about the difficulties of divorce resonated with many viewers and fans. Public support for Kelly during the divorce appeared to be largely positive, with many fans expressing sympathy for her situation and admiration for her strength in handling the challenges, while continuing to work and care for her children. The timing of her divorce coincided with the launch of her talk show, creating additional pressure as she had to promote a new professional venture while managing personal crisis and legal proceedings. Kelly's financial success and independence provided her with resources to navigate the divorce process, but it also created complexities in terms of asset division and support calculations that might not exist in divorces involving more modest financial circumstances. Her public statements about the divorce were generally diplomatic and focused on the well-being of their children, though she was candid about the emotional difficulty of ending her marriage and the impact it had on her family. Brandon Blackstock's life after the divorce involved significant changes to his living situation, career focus, and relationship with his children. The end of his marriage to Kelly also meant the end of his role as her manager, requiring him to rebuild his professional career independently. His preference for living in Montana meant that maintaining close relationships with his children required careful coordination with Kelly's Los Angeles-based lifestyle and career commitments. This geographic separation created ongoing challenges for their co-parenting relationship. The financial settlement from the divorce provided Brandon with resources, but he also faced the challenge of establishing independent income streams after years of being financially connected to Kelly's career success. His relationship with his older children from his previous marriage remained an important aspect of his life, and questions arise about how his divorce from Kelly affected these relationships and the family dynamics they had developed. Career opportunities in music management might have been affected by the public nature of his divorce and the end of his professional relationship with Kelly, requiring him to rebuild professional relationships and credibility within the industry. The emotional impact of divorce and the changes to his family life represented significant personal challenges that required adjustment and potentially professional support to navigate successfully. The co-parenting relationship between Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock required ongoing communication and cooperation despite their personal relationship ending and the complications that arose during their divorce proceedings. Their children's adjustment to their parents' divorce and the changes in their family structure required careful attention and support to help them cope with the transition from living in one household to dividing time between two parents. Holiday schedules, school events, and other family occasions required coordination between Kelly and Brandon to ensure their children could maintain relationships with both parents and extended family members. The children's travel between Los Angeles and Montana for visitation with Brandon created logistical challenges and required careful planning to minimize disruption to their education and social relationships. Questions arise about how celebrity divorces affect children's sense of privacy and normalcy, particularly when their parents' relationship has been subject to public attention and media coverage. Professional counseling and support services may have been utilized to help the children cope with their parents' divorce and the changes in their family structure, which is common in high-conflict or high-profile divorce situations. The media coverage of Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock's divorce was extensive, reflecting public interest in celebrity relationships and the challenges faced by high-profile couples. This coverage created additional stress and pressure during an already difficult personal time. Public statements from both Kelly and Brandon were generally focused on their commitment to co-parenting and protecting their children's interests, though the legal proceedings sometimes resulted in information becoming public through court filings. Fan reactions and public opinion appeared to be largely supportive of Kelly, though some observers criticized the public nature of certain aspects of their divorce proceedings and the impact on their children. Social media discussions about their divorce ranged from supportive messages for Kelly to speculation about the causes of their relationship breakdown and criticism of various aspects of their legal proceedings. The entertainment industry's response to their divorce was generally professional, with Kelly's colleagues and business partners continuing to work with her while maintaining appropriate boundaries regarding her personal situation. Questions arise about how media coverage of celebrity divorces affects the emotional well-being of all parties involved, and whether privacy protections are adequate for protecting children and family members who didn't choose public life. The legal resolution of Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock's divorce involved multiple court hearings and negotiations over custody, financial support, and asset division that extended over more than a year from the initial filing. Final custody arrangements provided Kelly with primary physical custody of their children, while establishing visitation schedules that allowed Brandon regular time with River Rose and Remington. Financial settlements included spousal support payments from Kelly to Brandon, though the specific amounts and duration were not publicly disclosed. These arrangements reflected the income disparity between the parties and Brandon's need for transition support. Property division resulted in Kelly retaining their Los Angeles area properties, while Brandon received compensation for his interest in these assets. The Montana ranch was ultimately sold, with proceeds divided between them. The final divorce decree was granted in March 2022, nearly 2 years after Kelly's initial filing, which is typical for complex high-asset divorces involving custody disputes and substantial financial considerations. Legal experts note that the resolution of their divorce appeared to prioritize the children's interests and provide both parties with the financial resources needed to move forward independently. Kelly Clarkson's life after divorce has involved focusing on her career growth, single parenting, and personal healing from the emotional trauma of ending her marriage. Her professional success has continued, with her talk show receiving positive reviews and ratings. Her openness about the challenges of divorce and single parenting has resonated with many viewers and fans, creating connections with audiences who have faced similar life challenges. Dating and romantic relationships have not been a public focus for Kelly since her divorce, as she has emphasized her commitment to her children and career during this transitional period in her life. Her relationship with her children appears to be strong, with Kelly frequently sharing positive moments from their lives together while respecting their privacy and protecting them from excessive public attention. Personal growth and healing from the divorce experience have been themes Kelly has discussed publicly, including therapy and self-reflection that have helped her process the end of her marriage and plan for her future. Questions arise about how Kelly's experience with divorce might influence her future approach to romantic relationships and what lessons she has learned about compatibility and communication in marriage. Brandon Blackstock's current life involves his focus on his children, potential career rebuilding, and personal adjustment to his changed circumstances following the divorce. His preference for a more private lifestyle has meant less public information about his post-divorce activities. His relationship with his children remains a priority, though the geographic distance between Montana and Los Angeles creates ongoing challenges for maintaining close connections with River Rose and Remington. Career development opportunities in music management or other industries may require Brandon to rebuild professional relationships and establish credibility independent of his previous connection to Kelly's career. Financial stability from the divorce settlement provides resources for Brandon to pursue new opportunities, though he faces the challenge of establishing independent income streams for long-term security. Personal relationships and potential future romantic partnerships have not been subjects of public discussion, as Brandon has maintained privacy around his personal life since the divorce. The emotional impact of divorce and the changes in his family relationships represent ongoing challenges that require continued adjustment and potentially professional support. The children affected by Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock's divorce include not only River Rose and Remington, but also Brandon's older children, Savannah and Seth, who had developed relationships with Kelly during the marriage. River Rose and Remington's adjustment to their parents' divorce has required support and understanding as they navigate spending time with both parents in different geographic locations and living situations. Educational continuity and social relationships for the children have been priorities in the custody arrangements, with efforts made to minimize disruption to their schooling and friendships. The blended family relationships that existed during Kelly and Brandon's marriage faced changes after the divorce, particularly regarding the connections between Kelly and Brandon's older children. Professional counseling and support services have likely been utilized to help all the children involved cope with the family changes and maintain healthy relationships with both parents and their siblings. Questions arise about the long-term impact of their parents' divorce on the children's emotional development and future relationship patterns, which research suggests can be influenced by how divorce is handled by parents and support systems. The music industry connections that brought Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock together initially also complicated their professional separation, as Brandon's career had been closely tied to Kelly's success in industry relationships. Industry colleagues and business partners had to navigate the professional changes resulting from Kelly and Brandon's divorce, including new management arrangements for Kelly and separate career development for Brandon. The end of their business partnership required contractual modifications and financial settlements related to Brandon's management of Kelly's career, including questions about ongoing royalties and commission structures. Professional relationships within the music industry may have been affected by their divorce, as colleagues and business partners had worked with them as a couple and had to adjust to their separation. Kelly's continued success in television and music has demonstrated her ability to maintain professional relationships and career growth independent of her marriage to Brandon. Brandon's future career prospects in music management may require rebuilding relationships and establishing credibility separate from his previous connection to Kelly's success. The financial implications of Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock's divorce continue to affect both parties through ongoing support obligations and shared financial responsibilities for their children. Spousal support payments from Kelly to Brandon represent a significant ongoing financial obligation that reflects the income disparity between them and Brandon's need for transition support as he rebuilds his career. Child support and shared expenses for River Rose and Remington's care, education, and activities require ongoing coordination and financial planning from both parents. Tax implications of the divorce settlement and ongoing support payments affect both Kelly and Brandon's financial planning and require professional accounting and legal advice to manage properly. Investment and retirement planning for both parties have been affected by the asset division and changed financial circumstances resulting from their divorce. Questions arise about how the long-term financial obligations from their divorce might affect both Kelly and Brandon's future financial decisions and career choices. The emotional healing process for both Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock continues as they adjust to their post-divorce lives and work to maintain positive co-parenting relationships for their children's benefit. Therapy and counseling services have likely been important resources for both parties in processing the end of their marriage and developing healthy communication patterns for co-parenting. Personal growth and self-reflection have been themes Kelly has discussed publicly, including her insights about relationship patterns and what she learned about herself through the divorce process. Brandon's emotional healing process has been more private, though the challenges of adjusting to changed family dynamics and career circumstances likely require ongoing support and professional guidance. The impact of their divorce on extended family relationships, including connections with the Blackstock family and Kelly's family members, has required adjustment and potentially affected long-standing relationships. Questions arise about how both Kelly and Brandon will apply the lessons learned from their marriage and divorce to future relationships and personal decisions. Looking toward the future, both Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock face the ongoing challenges and opportunities of building new lives as divorced co-parents while maintaining their individual career goals and personal happiness. Kelly's career trajectory appears strong, with continued success in television and potential future projects in music and entertainment that could provide long-term financial security and professional fulfillment. Brandon's career rebuilding efforts will likely determine his long-term financial stability and professional satisfaction as he establishes independent business relationships and income streams. The children's continued growth and development will require ongoing attention from both parents to ensure their emotional health and success despite the family changes they have experienced. Co-parenting effectiveness will continue to be crucial for the family's overall well-being and may improve over time as both Kelly and Brandon adjust to their new relationship dynamic focused solely on their children's interests. The possibility of future romantic relationships for both Kelly and Brandon raises questions about how new partnerships might affect their co-parenting relationship and their children's adjustment to additional family changes. If you're as moved by this complex story of love, loss, and family as we are, go ahead and like this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about the challenges celebrity couples face when their personal and professional lives become intertwined? How important is it for divorced parents to prioritize their children's well-being over personal conflicts? We want to hear your perspective on love, forgiveness, and second chances in relationships. Then, hit subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss our coverage of celebrity relationships and the real human stories behind the headlines. Thanks for watching.